So you're an online entrepreneur like myself who is struggling with balance to crush your business, make ground on that, but also maintaining your old 9 to 5 job, your family, your friends, your relationship. You have to juggle all of these things as well as your health, your fitness, your sleep, your diet, just so many things. How are you meant to do this? You're not just working one job, you're working two as well. As a business person, we have this idea that we just want to crush our business no matter what, all or nothing, go all in. But is that really sustainable over the long term? And if you were to crush your business and go all in, is it worth it at the expense of not putting your time and energy in your family, friends, relationships, your health, your sleep? Or is that something that's really going to affect you later down in the line? I believe that actually, if you have balance, it's better in the long term. And I'm going to tell you why. In this video, we're going to talk about crucial systems so that you can have balance as an entrepreneur. Maybe. And I'm going to tell you why I think this is all maybe. I'm Thomas Webb. I'm determined to do this in one take. Okay, so why listen to me? I am a doctor. I've been a doctor for 4 years. I've been in medical school for 6 years. I love this personal development, improving your life kind of stuff. I'm applying this to my life. I have applied this to my life, and I'm applying this to my life as an entrepreneur. I am an aspiring online entrepreneur, so I'm making this video specifically for the lifestyle of online entrepreneurs. Okay, so as I said, I believe that balance is very important. I believe that if you nourish the foundations of your life and have balance, you can really attack and thrive and crush your business. And I'm making a community in school, which you can join in the description, for entrepreneurs who do care about other parts of their life and their health, not just their hustle, but they actually believe that if you look after the foundations, that can optimize their business and their ability to crush it. Okay. In this video, we will learn time management systems, task management, and calendar management, as well as the need to delegate certain tasks, the need to automate certain repetitive tasks, and leveraging the power of AI. These take the pressure away from you so you can spend more of time on the important stuff or more time away from your business on other areas of your life. We will talk about self-care and stress management systems. Again, you're just basically automating tasks so they actually benefit you and in the long term prevent burnout and feeling unbalanced, as well as very crucial continuous learning system. So a system in place where you're always learning, you're making small adjustments, you're overseeing things, and you're improving. So I think all of these are very important and will lead to a more balanced life, a more productive life, and a higher chance of crushing your business in the long term. And that's the goal. Okay. The problem with perfectionism is you do this over and over again, and the problem with doing that is you're just bored of yourself talking, and nothing's ever good enough. Oh, sorry, we're rolling. Okay, so calendar management is and task management. These are the two areas I split time management into. Calendar management refers to where you put the events, your appointments, whether you're going to work on your deep work, your job, or even time socializing with friends, family. Okay? And that is very important. I think you need at least an analog journal where you can write all this out, or a digital journal such as Google Calendar. I use both. I think having both is a very good idea, because your own journal, you don't get the dopamine distractions. You can do this first thing in the morning, last thing at night, even while you're winding down. It's all about what your thoughts and your brain and offloading that onto a piece of paper. You're not getting anything new. Whereas if you're on a laptop, on a computer, on Google Calendar, there's a bit too much going on, in my opinion, and you can get distracted, you can get stimulated. So I like to have that separation of the writing down before I go onto my laptop. But I think there is a place for Google Calendar. There's a lot of advantages to that over just your analog journal, because you can repeat tasks, you can automate tasks, you can look in a day view, in a month view, in a year view. So it's all very good. You can add tasks easier. It can be on your phone. Okay, so I think I really recommend Google Calendar. A good tip for this is allocating a different color for each area of your life. So business could be red, green could be social life, blue could be self-care, personal development. So if you just have a different color for each area of your life, you're able to just have a look, like say month view, and you might be able to see loads of red, and you're like, oh, I'm really knuckling down my business this month, or there's not a lot of green. My social and family life are gonna probably suffer, and I guess that's okay. The point of this is really self-awareness. So even when you're out of balance, that is okay in the short term, as long as you maintain that awareness of it. The problem is when you get out of balance and you're not aware of it, you're not aware you've been neglecting a important area of your life until it creeps up with maybe like a health problem, or you know, just thinking a worst case scenario, if you're married, like your wife wants a divorce because you're not spending time with her. So instead of reacting to it, it's about being aware and saying, where's my time going? What's going well? And you can see that if you allocate it calendar with different colors. Okay. The good thing about, so the next thing we'll talk about is task management. Task management is just being aware of all of your tasks and allocating it to a specific time of the day. Again, self-awareness is key. There's nothing worse of not being on top of your tasks, not knowing what you need to do, not knowing where your deadlines are. Often when you write out your task, you realize you don't need to do all of your tasks. So you might have heard of the Eisenhower matrix, which is assigns your tasks into urgent and important, urgent, not important, not important, but urgent, not important, not urgent. So obviously you don't need to do the not important, not urgent stuff. You can cross them off. You also don't need to do the urgent, not important stuff. You only need to worry about the important stuff. And then the only stuff you need to work on today, tomorrow, and the ones you prioritize are the urgent stuff, the ones with closer deadlines. And then you realize that a lot of your tasks can be allocated further down the line. So that's where you can prioritize. So again, having writing your tasks down on your journal is good just to get it off your mind, but also onto a digital platform like Todoist, like Google Tasks, can just make sure that when you do collect tasks, they're being stored somewhere. And with Google Tasks, you can integrate that onto Google Calendar, which is something I do, and you can allocate that to a specific time of the day. I like to have a time where I do my tasks, lots of small tasks, but of course, something that also works is just doing them throughout the day, and just having a list somewhere, whether it's on your phone or on a piece of paper, just getting through them when you have time, just doing it. Also, if you have a big project, like I want to make a YouTube video, you can split that into smaller segments, and you can tick off the tasks as you go along. This obviously makes it more manageable. It gives a sense of progress, gives a bit of a dopamine release once you do the small tasks, and I think that will just make the process a lot more manageable, a lot more doable, and more fulfilling as well. Okay. I'm going to talk a bit about delegation, and that is when you have a task to do and you say to someone else, can you do that task for me? The advantage of this is that you're not doing that task, you're not spending your time on doing that task. As an entrepreneur, we want to do all our tasks ourselves, especially as we start. We want to be in control of it, especially if you're a solo entrepreneur, and that's the advantage. You don't have to work with a team of people, you're not reliant on people, and that's fine. But at a certain point, you realize that actually it's not so freeing having to do everything yourself, especially the boring, easy tasks, especially the hard tasks where you're not good at. And that's where delegation comes in. So, great tasks to allocate, as I said. Boring, time-consuming tasks that really aren't fruitful for you and take up a lot of time, and you could be using that time on tasks with, or like going into deep work, or you could be using that time to nourish other parts of your life. So if you can delegate that, maybe in exchange for money, but it might be worth it. So you want to do that. The other thing to delegate are hard tasks where you don't have the skills, and it'll take a long time for those skills to be developed. Could be something like editing. It could be something like logo design. Again, if you don't think your time is worth in that, think, can you delegate this? Okay, and get used to that. Eventually, you'll have to delegate as your business gets bigger anyway. Platforms to delegate are Fiverr and Upwork. These have freelance people on it who are hungry for tasks. They have skills for certain tasks. You can find them, and they're very affordable. So I think getting used to this and trying it out early is a very important skill to have. And this is really just utilizing leverage. Another system that utilizes the power of leverage is automation. Automation is similar to delegation, but rather than asking a person to do something, it's programming it into your computer systems, just making the whole process automatic. That's basically what it is. Kind of like using AI, and I think with the rise of AI, you can automate more and more of your business. So you don't have to do it, a person doesn't have to do it, and this can be simple tasks, simple repetitive tasks. So it could be something as simple as responding to an email. If you don't want to respond to an email straight away, you can have an automated response. Hi, I'm not in the office, I'm on holiday, blah, blah, blah. Or it could be moving some data, like you could be collecting email addresses and you want it to be on your Google Sheet so you can link one app to another. And that's the process of automation. It just happens automatically without you having to manually do it. That's just an example. You can use things like Zapier, which integrates different apps and automatically does things like this. It's something I am interested in, but I haven't really utilized much yet. Another example would be if someone joins your community, instead of messaging them saying, thank you for joining the community, here are the rules, here are the guidelines, I'd love you to introduce yourself. You could have an automatic message sent to them saying this. And yeah, it's basically just having a lot of these repetitive tasks or tasks that you can predict in the future happening without manually having to do it. And that will just, again, free up your time from these tasks, more time doing the deep important work, more time not doing the business stuff, and spending it with your family, your friends, and outside of work. The goal really for a lot of people is for your business to function without your attention and focus constantly on it. I think that's the goal if you want true freedom. So if you can learn the skill of leveraging through delegation and automation, then that's key for that. Something that's also equally important for leveraging your business is your health. You can actually be more productive, have more energy if you focus on your health. And I think that's another way of leveraging your health for your business. And you can't quite automate this. Your habits aren't automatic, but you can get it pretty close to feel like that. And that's where habits come in. Habits are things that you do with little effort consistently over a long period of time. And understanding what a habit is essential for forming these behaviors and being motivated to keep them up and to change behaviors. So if you want to go to the gym, you want to write this intention down. How many times a week do you want to go to the gym? Okay. And then you want to schedule this in your calendar. When are you going to do it? Is it going to be first thing in the morning? Is it going to be after work? What time is best for you? You want to make it as easy as possible. You want to put your clothes out so they're available when you wake up, for example. You want to go to a gym, which is very local and handy and easy to get to, for example. Yeah, so scheduling it, making it easy. You want to be aware of when you've done it, so you're accountable. So you have this system, this journaling system, or this calendar system where you tick it off once it's done. And if it's not done, that's okay. It's not the end of the world, but you're still accountable and you're saying, I didn't do that. And if you didn't do it, why didn't you do it? Write it down, learn from it. I didn't go to the gym because I was too sleepy in the morning and I didn't get up for it, for example. So, what do you learn from that? I need to go to bed earlier, or I need to go to the gym at a better time that suits me, maybe after work, and maybe there's a higher chance of me doing that. Okay, so it's about having realistic expectations and intentions. It's about making it as easy as possible. It's about being accountable and aware, and it's about giving yourself a reward for once you have completed it. And over time, you will start to believe that you are the type of person that goes to the gym, and that will become part of your identity. And then your identity will then naturally gravitate towards that activity, even when you don't intend to do it or have the discipline or focus. You will just naturally feel like a bit uneasy for not going to the gym because that's the sort of person you are, and you always want to maintain your identity. And that's what habits are. They're basically just votes of your identity. So at the start, when you're going against your old identity, they may feel hard, and that's why you need to build them up slowly, um, um, and really reward yourself and really focus on it and use a bit of willpower. But over time, it will become easier and easier because they're fulfilling your new identity. Um, and that's how habits work. So, really understanding the components of a habit is crucial for behavior change and identity change. And over time, just having good self care habits, good self care routines will not just lead to better health, but will lead to more energy, more productivity, and will leverage the power of your business. Okay, so having these systems in place, just breaking them down, what actually is it that makes me go to the gym? It can't just be go to the gym. You have to really break it down into its components and go from there. That's what I would say about that. A great book about this, if you want to learn, is Atomic Habits by James Clear. I think this is the best book on breaking all of that down and makes it really simple. Okay, and again, this can be applied to other things as well, which you could argue is part of your self care routine, but stress management. But this possibly deserves an extra mention because you don't want to be stressed. You do want to be present. You want to focus on one thing at one time, and you want to limit your distractions, but also giving yourself that time for breaks, downtime, relaxation, and recovery. Um, so yeah, I mean, this goes without saying. I can do another video on the powers of meditation and mindfulness as well, but I think this is extremely important, not just for your business, but for your fulfillment. And it's also okay to just have that downtime where you're not focused on one thing at one time. Um, you are actually just completely unwinding. You're just having a bit of fun. You're relaxing. And for me, this is great to have at the end of the day, not at the start of the day, because you're at the start of the day, you want to get up, you want to get going. Um, but the break and the downtime can be at the end of the day because that's a reward, and reward is very important. It's good for motivation. It's also just good for de-stressing, and realizing that if life's not all about the serious stuff. It's not all about your business, crushing your business. It's not all about being good at meditation. It's not all about you know whether how your gym workout was, etc. You can actually just have the ability to just unwind, to relax, and that's an important skill. Okay, because it really means that you're not going to burn out, and you need to give yourself that permission, and you'll start to see the relationship between working hard and the ability to guilt-free relax. And that's what it's all about. It's about working hard and relaxing, and yeah, they're both equally important as each other. So the last thing I want to talk about is a continual learning system. So a system in place where you are actually learning from what you're doing, reflecting on it, and making small changes going forward. Okay, and that is very important. So I like to do this with journaling. So I'm aware of all of the things. I'm aware of what I'm working on, what I'm delegating, what I'm automating. I'm also aware of my own personal habits and systems in place. What are my intentions? Am I executing on them? Are they working well? Are they not? So I can see all of this, I can reflect on this, and I can make small changes going forward. And this cycle of reflection, learning, and intention and execution, that is the system for personal growth, for personal development, not just in my business, but my personal life and other areas of my life. And I can also reflect on whether I feel balanced, whether there's something out of balance, whether I want to put more energy into that particular area or not. And I can do this on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. And that's my view on a learning system. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is balance. And I did say achieving balance maybe as an entrepreneur. I'll tell you why I said maybe, because I think it's completely okay to feel out of balance at certain times in your life. And I think, in fact, it's very often that you will constantly feel out of balance. And that's okay. It's not really, the goal isn't balance. The goal is more self-awareness of imbalance. And as long as you constantly make changes over time to say, okay, in the last 6 months, I was really on balance. I did a lot of work on this. I wasn't putting a lot of energy into that other area. Now I'm going to make that change, and then you're going to go the other way. I think it's just about, it is about juggling. It's about tinkering where your energy's going over time. And yes, you might always be a bit unbalanced, but that's how you make progress. In the last 6 months, this 6 months going forward, I'm going to be focusing on the gym. I'm going to be focusing on gaining muscle. I'm going to be focusing on eating a lot. And I'm going to be pretty unbalanced in that side of things. I'm also going to be doing the same with my business, and I'm planning to be a bit unbalanced, and that's okay. It's not going to be forever, but it's about being aware that you're imbalanced so you can make those changes going forward. And yeah, that's the reason. I hope you learned something from this video. Let me know if you did or if you have any questions. Thank you.